I think this conversation is going to continue for quite a while. Michael has a new book on the topic coming out eventually one day. So you're working also on the still called The White Pill?
The White Pill, yeah. And the first line of The White Pill is Ayn Rand did not laugh. I'm not joking. That's literally the first line.
I believe it.
Because it opens up with her. Who knows what the book's going to look like when it's done. But as of now, that's the beginning. Because it opens up with her testimony at the House Un-American Activities Committee, where she's trying to explain to these Congress people what it was like when she left the Soviet Union, and they are just befuddled by it.
Can you explain she did not laugh?
Well, because the first line, the fountainhead, spoiler alert, is Howard Rourke laughed.
Yep.
So this is a little inversion of that. It says Ayn Rand did not laugh because she had this. Ayn Rand was a huge fan of America, as am I. She took our political system very seriously. She had enormous reverence for institutions. One example of this is one of the villains of the Atlas Shrugged is based on Harry Truman. I think Thompson is the character's name. And because she had such respect for the title of president, she refers to him as the chairman. She couldn't even bring herself.
She had a huge respect for the presidency.
Yeah.
I wonder if she'd still have it.
Right. Maybe
given
not.
the last string of presidents we've had.
So having her, which sets up the broader point of the book, which I'm sure I'll be back on the show to discuss, assuming this bridge hasn't been burned, but I'll try my best.
All three of us are canceled. Some are more canceled than the others.
Uh-oh.
And
I don't know.
The point
I'm
being,
looking at you,
which
Michael.
sets up the broader point of the book, is how ignorant many people are in the West about the horrors of Stalinism and communism, but also how many people in the West were complicit in saying to Americans, go home, everything's fine, this is great, sure, this is why pencils have erasers, sure, there are mistakes, and they really made a point to downplay, really gratuitously, some of the unimaginable atrocities of the communism. And just one more sentence, and going through the work and learning about what they actually did is so jaw-dropping that if I didn't know about it, and many people I'm friends with who are historians who are interested in the space, this isn't common knowledge to them, then we can assume that almost no one knows about it. And I think it's very important for people to appreciate, whether Republican, Democrat, liberal, whatever, how much of a danger this is. And I think Americans have this. There's a book called It Can't Happen Here, I think by Sinclair Lewis, about a fascism coming to America. American exceptionalism has a positive context, but also have a negative context where you think we're invincible. All these horrible things that happen in these other countries, it can't possibly happen here. We're America, we're special. And it's completely an absurdity.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you seen the movie, Mr. Jones?
My friend wrote it. No, I haven't. But Walter Durante and his quotes. I have a thread on Twitter. Walter Durante, for those who don't know, he won a Pulitzer because he was the New York Times man in Moscow.
Yep.
And endlessly, he was talking about how great it was, how if you hear about this famine in Ukraine, this is just propaganda. I went to the villages. Everyone's happy and fed. A lot of it was explicit lies, and when you realize you're talking about, let's give them the absolute benefit of the doubt, an accidental genocide, it's still mind-boggling. And also, Anne Applebaum, who's just a phenomenal writer, she wrote a book called Red Famine, Stalin's War in Ukraine. And she talks about how what people in America don't appreciate is how clever in their sadism the Soviets were. And what they knew to do to Ukraine is everyone is starving. So they knew if you got some meat on your bones, you're hiding food.
Yeah.
So they come back at night, take your hand, put in the door jamb, keep slamming the door, ransack your house. They didn't have to find the food. Burn down your house, take all your clothes. Goodbye and good luck. I don't recall saying good luck. Yeah. So
I highly recommend the movie because it's very well done.
Okay.
It's very well directed. It's beautifully made. It's stunningly effective.
Okay, good.
In illustrating exactly that. The scenes in Ukraine during the famine, your heart goes. I mean, it's crushing. And it shifts to black and white. It's very, very well made aesthetically. So highly recommend it.
And it's written by Andrea Chalupa. She's a Ukrainian friend of mine. She introduced me to Yeonmi Park, who's a big North Korean defector.
Yep.
This is the kind of thing where I think more people need to. When I wrote The New Right, which talks a lot about the Nazis or the kind of neo-Nazis, one of their big complaints about against people who are Jewish is like, oh, we hear all about the Holocaust. How come you don't talk about the Holodomor? I'm like, I'm trying to do my part.
Yeah.
I agree with you that we need to be talking more about the Holodomor.
Yeah. Absolutely. And it's sad there are not more movies that are anti-Soviet, which tells you a lot about the view of the intelligentsia. It's a great idea. It just was badly implemented. And no, it's a rotten idea. It's an evil idea. And it was implemented. Exactly. It was implemented exactly how it has to be implemented. There's no alternative.